Ready? Hi, a very good morning to all of you all. Thank you. It's lovely to be here, and thanks, Eldrok, for the opportunity. I think as educators, I'm sure this is a question that many of you have had, and with the lovely schools that each one of you all have here, I'd like to go through, and my presentation is going to be more on career counseling, profile building, and admissions for higher education. And I'm going to start by just telling you a little bit about myself and how I went about starting this. I went to a school till the 12th grade here, and post that went to University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and did my computer science and economics. A lot of what I, happened to decide, or why I happened to decide, happened because of mentors which I was a part, which I was very fortunate to have. And not everyone is fortunate to have a whole lot of mentors. And thankfully, even after I went to Michigan, it gave me an understanding of what I might want to do and why I moved from computer science to even taking business and then going into investment banking for about 7 years. Post-graduating, post-investment banking, I took a break and went back to Columbia and studied economics, worked at a venture capital company. And that's where I actually found one of my partners whose wife had started a school. And that was more to do with impact. And she had about 5 schools across 5 different countries. Very, very interesting in terms of why. So wherever they moved, she opened a school. And she had many issues and problems at that school, including, she didn't have a dashboard to help those students. She didn't have a dashboard to see all these 5 schools in terms of what is really happening. She wanted to make sure there's an outcome that, they reach. And so we started integrating, helping her build a dashboard. That's where 2 of my co-founders come in. So Chirag did his master's at Stanford University in computer science. He was working at VMware for about 10 years. And we helped them build a dashboard that helped their school. And one of their schools is in California. And after we built that, she said, this is so good and interesting. You need to go to the California public system and help them with putting this dashboard together. And we worked with them for about 3 odd years. And they said, your system is really helping all of our schools. And they said, we want to integrate it in 21,000 schools in California. And so I said, okay, fantastic, this is great. But they said, we will have to buy it from you. We want more people involved in this whole project. And that's when we started moving towards understanding what else can we do in the system. And talking to the educators, we figured there's so much more to be done with digitalizing career counseling. A lot of what the children went through at the schools and the outcomes that we were able to gain was a lot about how do we actually help these students move through. So how many of you have had mentors in your life? If I just want to see a show of hands, how many of you all have mentors in your life? Fantastic. Thank you. Does your child have a mentor? If I have to ask you. Does your child have a mentor? Do you have mentors? Okay. Do you think having a mentor will help your child? Yes? Great. Fantastic. Now, as a school, do you think your career cell is well poised to assist your students? Do you think that there are gaps? I mean, let's be honest. It's not that it's always possible. We all have gaps. I mean, I went to school. I graduated back in '97. Even that school still says we have gaps, right? So we all have gaps, right? And we need to first identify, first say, yes, there are gaps. No one is perfect. Nothing is perfect. So, and the other question is, do you have adequate resources in-house to help your teachers and counselors with training and students with their career planning, entrance preparation, admissions, including a dashboard to track the progress? So if you don't, I'm going to show you how this is going to help and what's really going on out there and why do you need one. So Indian students and their parents today are now increasingly willing to pursue unconventional paths in higher education, while for schools, college admission has always remained an afterthought. I'm not saying that you are not promoting this or you're not helping the students. I'm saying that, is it good enough? What are we seeing today? What are the number of students? What is the, how many of them are actually going abroad versus how many of them are staying back here, right? You're seeing an increasing trend. You're seeing an increasing trend in your schools of where they're going. But do you also know how much the competition is? The other thing is students, parents, and schools. When I look at students, they want help in figuring out a career path. They want to keep their options open. Parents are willing to support their children's decisions. They're willing to spend on their child's education. So, do we have a structured counseling program? How many times do children go outside the school and get help? Why are they doing that? There is a reason. Right? Are we being able to do adequate? Isn't that a question? Do we all have expert counselors? Right? I was talking to one of the schools. They have 40 schools, and they said, we send 11 of our counselors or 11 of our teachers for the IC3 program, and only 2 of them passed and came back. And does that really help us? College admission system is constantly evolving. We are unearthing significant gaps. Why? There is growing competition, there's growing complexity, there's information overload, there's technology reliance, there's a tuition-first approach. And what is that causing? That's causing stress and anxiety, and you are losing sight of the process and getting distracted. So what does this competitive landscape look like right now for us? We have coaching centers, we have counseling agencies, we have tech-enabling schools, right, where you have a templatized program or there's limited involvement, there is no or low human involvement, there's mostly plug and play. Is that good enough? So what is the need, right? And what is the need? It's a deeply integrated and hybrid human-led approach. So what are we saying? We're saying we need strong human capital because the actual amount or the ratio that you really need for counseling is you need at least 1 counselor for 250 students on an average. Right now, if you look at, I mean, I'm not even looking at India, even outside India, if you look at America, that ratio is 1:400. For private schools, the ratio has to be at least 1:100. Do we have that? We don't even have that. What's the other thing that we need? We need an online and offline approach to greater touch points, catering to students' needs more efficiently. We need an integrated approach where we reduce dependency on plug-and-play technology by supplementing with a strong operations and consulting team, right? So what does that mean? What we do here is we assess career needs. We have over 200 mentors from different areas, from 50+ career areas. What we are ready to do for a school is assess their optimal needs, audit your counseling process, understand where you are, help you with planning and execution, provide enhanced teacher training, whether it is for writing recommendations, whether it is for understanding how to close those career gaps. We're here. The entrance test guidance, because there are so many of them, providing partnering co-curricular programs for profile building, helping you with a scholarship fund, an Olympiad and university fairs, an application support system with a dashboard, and of course 200+ mentors in 50+ career areas, right? So that's the team that we're saying, the 200 mentors that come from different areas, whether they are a sports psychologist, whether they're in medicine, whether they're in law, they have deep industry knowledge. This is a quick understanding of one of the schools that, this is a problem statement that they had, is they had a confusion with their curriculum, dealing with parents, assisting students with subject choices, deciding teacher hiring retention strategy, and minimizing transfers to other schools. This is what we were able to do, is have an initial round of discussion, evaluate the school infrastructure, align with the school management, and provide an online career test, a mass information session, a one-on-one counseling, and what we saw is a 93% NPS achieved as per student reviews. So we're looking at a number of features, and many of these are customizable as well. So we're happy to talk to you after this. I'm more than happy to. And this is just giving you a sense of, and I would say about 10 to 15% of the schools that we work with are also from a non-profit background. So whether that's Yuva India or Bhumi, we tend to work with a number of schools in this area as well. We're here to make sure that we can provide impact. So happy to talk to more of you all. Thank you. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request Kanwar Pratap Singh, sir, chairman from CCA, to felicitate and award to Dhaval, sir. Now it's time for our another presentation, and I would like to welcome Mr. Mikin Lala, co-founder from Logiquates, to present his presentation.